Hey guys, Charles from Halt's Boots here, and today we are looking at the Puma Ultra Ultimate in the Special Edition Tricks Pack. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and unbox these boots here. You can just kind of see Special Edition here. It's a brown style box, the Puma logo all over, Special Edition there, and just kind of like the basic, I do like they did the size conversions and stuff. I wish they would do more of this on like Adidas and Nike boxes, but kind of nice that Puma has that there. And we're gonna go ahead and open these boots up. So right away we have that first pair. It's gonna be the left boot is gonna have that nice, just blue color. Let's look here, then we have the right boot, which is gonna be that nice bright pink mixed with kind of like a lighter pink on the sole plate there. And then this pair did come with a bag, which I don't know actually if you see with Puma boots, because I haven't really bought Puma boots lately, but it just says faster football there, so that's kind of nice. Just see that, you know, just have a cool little boot bag. And actually this paper as well, or like the, whatever you want to call it, the tissue paper here, has Special Edition written all over it as well with the Puma logo, so that's kind of just a nice little touch there as well. So as we take a look here, I haven't really seen the Ultra Ultimate up close. It definitely is a nice looking boot. We did do a drop with the Christian Pulisic colorway a couple weeks back on the website, but I didn't have a size 9, so I wasn't able to actually get them, but it kind of worked out because this pair dropped shortly after we did hard drop, so I was able to kind of get this really cool pair of boots, and I'm just kind of do a nice review on them for you guys. I'm definitely happy that Puma did this remake. You know, it's not like a special remake or anything super crazy, but just kind of seeing those nice like split colors again, it's just not something you really saw in the boot market ever. And when Puma did it, I don't really think there's any backlash at all. It was kind of just like, oh cool, I have two different colored boots, but otherwise you just had to buy two pairs of boots to actually kind of get that effect, and wasn't always fun, or if you didn't have money like me, you couldn't really do that in, you know, high school when you were younger and stuff. So I do like that they did this. I'm hoping that maybe they'll decide to do more colorways of this in the future, although I'm not entirely sure if they will. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this wrapping out. I'm gonna just pop the insole out for you guys and kind of just show you it a little bit here. So it is keeping that same nano grip technology that has been on, I think, several Puma boots. I know it was on the Puma Ultra 1.4 or the 1.4 Ultra, or whatever boot that was from Puma. And I definitely like that insole. It is really nice that it kind of just like grips your sock a little bit. I've never been one to not wear grip socks, but maybe this is a boot I'll try wearing without grip socks, or if you don't have grip socks and maybe want to understand what it kind of feels like, I think this is an insole that will really kind of give you at least a rough idea of what exactly is going on. Because I mean, it is almost look like a suede material, but I think it's just a bunch of like micro knit fibers here that will just kind of like get onto the ball and grip them for you. Just a small detail as well. I don't know if you'll be able to see it here, but it actually has blue on the right insole for the pink boot, and then pink on the left insole here for the blue boot here. So that's just kind of just another cool little flip-flop thing they did with these boots here. This is definitely a pair I'm excited to wear. Like I said, I haven't worn the Puma Ultra Ultimate yet, but I definitely, even just for this colorway alone, I'm really hyped to get to test these out and wear them and just kind of see how they feel. They are almost giving me like the Speed Portal or Speed Flow vibe, with this kind of just has like the knit upper here instead of a tongue, and then just kind of has the rest of the uppers like that synthetic-y, really thin material. So I'm hoping that the touch on the ball is good and that these boots will accommodate wide feet and stretch a little bit. One thing I am seeing here though that is a little disappointing, I just noticed, is it has this like kind of like pinkish, purplish color discoloring here, and I don't know if that's from the boots themselves or it's from maybe they touched the pink boot when they were together. I really don't know. I know sometimes like dyes will kind of just bleed into stuff, but that is kind of disappointing. It's not a big deal or anything like that, but you kind of just expect to see some nicer stuff when you're doing a remake and a limited edition pair. On top of that, they charged $30 extra for this pair, where they didn't charge extra for the Puma Ultra version. So it's kind of weird that they did that. And then if you have like defects like this, it's just kind of annoying. So I think I paid $230 USD right off the Puma USA website, or maybe it's $250, whatever the regular Puma Ultra Ultimate price is, and then on top of an extra $30 because Puma decided to do that with these for absolutely no reason, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is, I guess. I don't really have much else to say about this pair. They're pretty cool. They're super light. I love this color. I definitely am excited to jump into these as quickly as possible. I might even wear them tonight, actually, instead of waiting for tomorrow. I mean, it does have a bit of a textured grip as well. I'm noticing, like, you can see it's kind of like pink on this side and then blue on this side. It's actually coating the whole boot. It's just when it comes to these like white, like the white Puma logo here, it kind of just shows through, but I'm not really worried about that. I definitely think having this knit upper is going to be comfy, and then trying out how well the touch is on the synthetic material, how well it breaks in, and if it accommodates wide feet is going to be the thing I'm most worried about. I'm just hoping that this material breaks in pretty fast and doesn't give me any issues. And overall, as long as it's okay for wide feet, I don't think I'll have the same issues I did with like the X-Ghosted Speed Flow and the Speed Portal, just kind of like having that synthetic material but not really stretching and kind of killing my feet. So other than that, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm gonna definitely try to keep an eye out on how this nano weave or nano grip technology works out in the insole, and overall just really hyped to try this boot out.
Hey guys, real quick, before we go any further into this video, make sure you check out our website, haltsboots.com, where we have tons of boots ranging from retro to the newer models. So head over there, use discount code YouTube for 5% off your next purchase.
All right guys, so we're gonna jump right into the review, and the first thing I have to say is, I know I talked about it in the unboxing, but this color is phenomenal. I really do like this split color. It's a throwback to the World Cup in 2014, which is arguably the best World Cup in terms of boots. And just to kind of get at least a reskin, I wouldn't even call it like a remake, more like a recolor, a reskin if you want. But, you know, just to kind of get those vibes back out there again is always really cool. And I really enjoyed wearing these. I got tons of compliments when I was just playing in like pickup or you know, in just games and stuff like that. So it definitely is a valid pair, and other people really seem to like them too, which I thought was cool. And they did get dirty pretty quickly. I don't know how well you can tell, but they are kind of disgusting right now. And I actually wore them last night, and I don't think it's a boot that I'm going to be putting in my rotation just because of some of the factors I'll go over. But, you know, overall, I don't have really much negative things to say about this boot. So the Puma Ultra Ultimate regularly retails at $220 USD, and for some reason, this pair was $250, so they bumped it up an extra $30 for a reason I can't really understand. And it makes it even weirder because the Puma Future Ultimate, they kept it the same price, even though it's also different colors. I think it's purple and yellow. And why they did that, again, I have no clue. It just kind of didn't make sense because I don't feel like much effort goes into these like remakes in terms of like you're just basically coloring the upper. So in terms of that was kind of frustrating. And, you know, I did buy them just straight for Puma, so I paid full retail, and I guess it is what it is, but it's just one thing that I was like, what's the point? Like, why you got to do this to us? Like, obviously we want to wear this boot, but this boot also didn't sell out either. It's still for sale all over on a bunch of different retailers. So for them to do that to us was just kind of weird in my opinion. And now if we talk about the sole plate of this boot, I do think that this is a very nice neutral sole plate. It does have a few chevron studs, but they're not anything like the Furon V7 Pro we saw, where they're just like super aggressive. And, you know, there's a lot of these like triangular studs here. Like you've got a couple there, like down here on the side, and then as well as on the bottom. So I felt it was a very neutral sole plate. I didn't get a chance to wear these on grass, and, you know, wearing them on turf, I thought they were fine. I did not get the MG version, which is called multi-ground, which is basically just like the older turf sole plates where there's like, I want to say like 30 to 50 tiny, just of the conical studs that are pretty short on the bottom of these. I did get the Puma Future Ultimate in this remake colorway in the MG, so that's something I'll be doing a review on. So you'll kind of get, at least for, you know, you get a little bit of both. You'll get the AG and the FG. But for this one, I went with FG. I thought it performed very well on turf. I didn't think these studs were particularly long. I know people with the Puma Future, the new Puma Future, they're having issues with the FG where they feel it's a bit too long. I think Noah Kavanaugh even said he might try shaving the studs down, which would be interesting to see. And, you know, maybe I'll try that at some point too, just to kind of see if it really made a difference. But for the most part, you know, a very good sole plate. It is, you know, fairly stiff. It's flexible in the upper, but you have really nice rigid here in the, like, kind of the arch area and then back in the heel. So I really didn't have any issues with that. I didn't feel like it provided any extra snapback, but overall, I think it was a solid sole plate that I wouldn't mind wearing in the future. So if we go into the lockdown, you know, we just have normal laces. They have the Puma Ultra logo on them, but nothing super special there. I did think that this boot does hug your foot well. I don't think it is really best for wide-footed players, but I usually like to warm up at practice or before games and just like keep my laces untied, you know, feel a little looser and just kind of pass around or whatever. And you can definitely do that with this boot. Most one-piece upper boots here with like these knit uppers, you can just slide on, and it won't provide great lockdown, but it'll at least hug your foot when you're not doing anything serious like cutting or hit, like, you know, hitting shots or anything like that. So lockdown was good there. When you tighten them up, I didn't really feel like my feet moved around at all. I did wear them with grip socks every single time, but I do think the nano grip technology also kind of just helps lock your foot in a little bit. I don't think it makes the biggest difference in the world, but you know, it is kind of nice that I didn't feel my foot ever slide in the, like on the insole or anything like that. So I did appreciate that as well. And you know, overall, the lockdown was very solid. I didn't have any issues at all. So, you know, decent there. If we move on to the upper, it's called the Ultra Weave upper or tech or something like that. And, you know, it's definitely very soft for being a synthetic material. You know, it's not soft in terms of like a fake leather, real leather, or even like a plush feeling, but it's definitely just like something that's super thin, but is comfortable on at least the top of your foot. And you definitely get a really, really good feel on the ball. And the only downfall is like, this is a very, very thin upper, and I think it's gonna be very, very prone to ripping. I mean, I got stepped on a few times and I've not had that much pain getting stepped on in a very long time. I even, in like a warm up, we were just doing dynamic stretches and one of my teammates was too close behind me and like, I don't know how, but he studded me in the side of my foot, and that almost brought a tear to my eye because the pain was pretty awful. So definitely not any protection or any sort of, you know, a little bit of cushion if you do get studded or stepped on. And honestly, I think if you caught a stud wrong, it would definitely rip this upper because it's so thin. But I didn't mind it. It does have all these like little rubber pieces, and I don't know what those are called, but you know, you can see them like, there's all these like little mismatched colors and they're all over the boot. I don't think it really provided any extra grip. I don't think it made anything worse either. It kind of just feels like that tech they say is grippy, but you know, to me, it didn't make a difference, and maybe that's just me speculating. But they also have this power tape strip on the heel here. You can kind of see it goes up there, and I think that's I think it's supposed to just give you a better like fit in the heel, or maybe a bit more firmness, considering the rest of this boot, like literally you can just like flatten like this. So I mean, you definitely can't do that with the heel. So maybe it provided more stability, but to me, it just felt like another heel counter. So if that was the goal, then it did a good job, but I don't know if it really made a difference either. I feel like most of the structure is internal in the frame, in the back of the heel there. But, you know, I guess if it's something else they want to add and try, then cool. You know, I don't have an issue with that. Definitely didn't feel like it made a difference though. And to continue to speak about this Ultra Weave upper, you know, I don't think it stretches very well for wide-footed players. I don't think this boot is meant for wide-footed players. And if you have normal feet, I think you'll be fine. If you have narrower feet, you'll be fine as well. But just having the wide feet, I had those normal hot spots on the side here and on the side there. And, you know, it just kind of, you know, just wasn't comfortable. I had even the toe, like my fourth toe right next to my pinky toe, went completely numb on my right foot, almost all the way up, like all the way to the top of my foot, which is not a sensation I've had before. And it wasn't dangerous or anything like that, but it just, to me, that kind of spoke like, yeah, this boot just is not meant for wide-footed players. And it got better over time, yeah, but I just don't ever think this boot truly stretched out all the way. So that is one thing I was not really happy about, but I mean, it's not something you can really deal with when you're a wide-footed player in a boot that's meant for narrow-footed players, you know? So it kind of just is what it is at that point. And dealing with the toe box, I heard that there was gonna be a little bit of extra room, but you should still probably go with your normal size. I felt like, you know, wearing a size 9 for what I usually wear in speed boots is a size 9, that these fit well. I didn't feel like there was really any extra room in the toe. And, you know, so maybe that's just, maybe if you have a narrow foot, that would be the issue or something like that. But for the most part, I didn't struggle with that at all. And then real quick, another thing I heard too is just some people had issues with the heel tabs. And I feel like this is just a more specific group of people, because to me, it seems like there's a lot of people who just don't enjoy the like high cut boots or like a high heel tab, and it always is digging into them. And I don't think you're whining or complaining. I think it's a very valid reason, but I just think it's like a specific group of people that just have these consistent issues. I didn't have that issue. I never felt that it dug into my heel or my Achilles at all. You know, the only time I've had that happen in the last 4 or 5 years was when I didn't bring like a pair of grip socks or like high cut socks, so I had to wear low cut socks, which was, first of all, disgusting because I hate how that looks, and I don't think anybody should do that. But two, like it just left a little bit of exposed skin right at the top. I think it was like a pair of X's or something. and that just led to cutting into the back of my heel and led to my foot bleeding, or my heel bleeding. So, other than that, the heel tab was fine in my opinion. And then lastly, if we go to talk about the durability before we wrap this up, I don't know if this is how Puma boots usually do, but I just felt like there's already signs of separation, kind of. I don't know how well you can see it, but it feels like it's not like regular separation that you'd get from like an Adidas boot or a Nike boot, because it feels like the Puma uppers are always anchored deeper in, if that makes sense, or at least this is how this one looks, is like it's anchored deeper in, so maybe it peels away from the sole plate very slightly, but the boot still holds together. I don't know. I've kind of come to the conclusion that I just wear boots very, very hard. I mean, I wear shoes, just regular shoes very, very hard. So I just don't know if that's me, if it's a me problem, if it's the Puma Ultra Ultimates are just prone to separating quicker because they are a lighter boot. You're gonna sacrifice a couple things when you go for a lighter boot. I just don't know. It wasn't like awful. It doesn't feel like the separation is very bad, but for a boot that costs an extra $30, you're paying 250 bucks. Like, I would like to at least wear my boots a lot longer before I start to see these like very early signs of separation. I wore these probably, I don't know, 7, 8, 10 times, and I did get a good feel for these boots for this review, but I just feel like sometimes the durability is not there. And I know we get this with speed boots, but can we figure out a way? Like, I'm cool with them weighing a little bit more. I really don't think weight makes a whole lot of difference on boots until, unless you have like a leather boot that's like soaked from playing in the rain or something. But, like, can we stop sacrificing like durability for lightweight? I guess is what I'm rambling on about. But anyways, yeah, so just a bit of an issue with that. So kind of just going into my overall thoughts real quick. This boot is not meant for wide-footed players, in my opinion. I think you could get away with it if you just consistently wear them and try to stretch them out. But after wearing them as much as I did, it felt like they were slowly stretching out, and I just don't have time to stretch a pair out that long, because, we've got tons of boots coming into review, as well as, playing in boots I actually want to wear. So I won't throw these into my rotation just because of that. But if it weren't for the way that they fit, I definitely would keep these in my rotation. Just this colorway is insane. Like I said, I think it's one of my favorite colorways of the year so far. And I can appreciate what Puma did here by bringing us back a little bit of nostalgia 9 years later after they originally released this colorway. So that was really cool. But, overall, if you have narrow feet, if you have regular feet, I think you'd be just fine in these. We also have the good lockdown here with the boot as well. Your foot's not going to slide around in it. It has a nice sole plate. I really do enjoy this sole plate. I think it's fairly neutral. It doesn't get stuck in the turf when I wear it there. You definitely could wear it in grass, no issue as well. So definitely a very good boot overall. Final rating for this boot is going to be a 7.8 out of 10. And based on this colorway alone, it would be a lot higher, but I had to keep that bias out of there just because I wanted to be more realistic with myself and with you guys in my experience wearing these. And it would definitely be like mid to high 8s if they fit my feet better. And that's one of the main reasons why it's not a higher rating. However, if you have narrow feet or regular sized feet, I'm pretty sure that, at least in terms of width, I'm pretty sure that you guys would really like these boots. And if you have wide feet, just kind of listen to what I said and go off that if you want, and kind of just make your decision if this is a boot you want to try purchasing. We are doing a drop next week of, I think, 50 something pairs of Puma boots, including a ton of these. So if you want to snag a pair, not this colorway, but this model, the Puma Ultra Ultimate, if you want to snag a pair, just be on the lookout for that. And drop me a comment down below and let me know your guys' thought on the Puma Ultra Ultimate, and kind of just if you've had an experience with them, or if it's a boot you think you will or won't buy based off this review. I always love to hear what you guys say, and I love interacting with you guys in the comments. And with that, guys, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.